We've had hardly any relief from the rain. We go from full sun and no rain in the forecast to a downpour. I need to get that roof fixed. So the way that Italians install the slate roof here is pretty unique and actually super beneficial for what we're doing today. See, most of the world has 2 holes in each tile and therefore 2 nails, which makes it very difficult to remove tiles when they've broken. Here I'm replacing some tiles because we had that rock slide 2 weeks ago. The nice thing is that they only use a single nail per tile, placed perfectly in the center, which allows you to kind of slide things out of the way, pivot the tile, and create space to remove the broken tile and then replace it. But most of the world uses 2 nails, and that extra nail makes the job so significantly more complex. You have to use what's called a slate rake, which is a long piece of metal that you slide up underneath the tile and try to hook the nail and then break it off. You're then able to re-nail the tiles in, but when you get to the very last tile, that extra nail makes it actually impossible to nail the last tile in. So then you have to nail in a piece of lead or metal that will hold it in not very well. But thankfully the Italian method is to use just that single nail, which makes replacing tiles extremely easy. Brief update on the rock slide. I had a couple professionals out to look at things, and Aside from the rocks that came down, there's not a tremendous rush. I removed everything that was barely held in there. I think you saw in that video, as soon as I touched a rock, they would fall. So I removed everything that was super dangerous, and not a big rush to do anything about it, but eventually we will, of course, have to spread that massive net across the entire property, that metal net that we talked about, but for now we're fine. So we have a contractor coming in just a couple of days who is going to do something extremely messy. So all of the floorboards in the entire house have to go. So admittedly, this week has been mostly taken up with just meeting with contractors and meetings with my geometro, who is essentially the architect of the project and our project manager. And it's been a week of nothing but meetings. But despite the fact that I didn't have too much time to put into the house this week, all of those meetings did kind of bring to mind some of the comments that I've been seeing, which is people asking to know more about the behind the scenes process of one, moving to Italy, buying a home. How does that even work as a foreigner? How do you go about legally restoring a property? Can you find help? How does all of that work? And I'm assuming those subjects are a little bit too boring for most people on this channel, but I was kind of wondering of starting like a free email that I would periodically send out some tips and tricks, but I guess I just don't know how many people are interested in that. So I thought I would leave a link to an email sign up, and if there's enough people interested, then I will periodically answer questions, maybe release some exclusive videos on how the whole process of buying in Italy and moving to Italy and restoring in Italy even works. So if that's something you're interested in, sign up. It will always be completely free. So yeah. Tonight we're celebrating the end of another long work week with a movie night, but tonight is extra special because we are reviewing the brand new Mars 3 by Nebula, who is the sponsor of today's video. This is the Mars 3, which we're gonna call the world's first extreme outdoor projector. Let me explain why. This portable projector not only features 1080 high definition image quality with an impressive 1000 lumens of brightness, but it also has an extremely rugged design that is waterproof, dustproof, and drop-proof. The Mars 3 features 40 watts of 270-degree speakers for an immersive cinematic experience and has AI image adjusting technology, which will automatically adjust the picture's color and brightness as the ambient light changes around you. The 185 watt-hour battery allows for 5 hours of playtime, and you can even charge your devices from the built-in power bank. And since this is the perfect projector to take on an outdoor adventure, they even have a built-in camping flashlight. With its portable design and built-in kickstand, you can be set up with a 150-inch screen in a matter of seconds. Now, all of these specs are impressive on paper for sure, but what really matters is the experience. Our family's been testing this unit for the last month, and it's honestly become a TV replacement for us. So while this is perfect for an outdoor setup, when we get home from working on the stone house after a long day and we want to watch some YouTube to unwind, we reach for this battery-powered portable projector instead of the TV because it's that much better of an experience. So if this at all sounds interesting to you, then check out the link in the description below for a special early bird offer, and thank you Nebula for sponsoring today's video. So I now have the monumental task of harvesting some lumber from on top of the mountain for the purpose of making brand new wood lintels to go over some of the doors and windows. As we've talked about many times before, we are required by law to enlarge some of the windows, which means that the existing lintels will not work. And in addition to that, we have quite a few new openings getting from room to room where there wasn't a door before. In total, we have quite a lot, I would say at least a dozen different doors and windows that either need to be replaced because the wood lintels are too far gone, or they are brand new openings that need to be replaced. But thankfully we have a ton of trees up at the mountain that are dead and dry, ready to go. I just need to harvest them and hew them to be the proper size. In the end, I kind of want them to look kind of similar to this, with this beautiful angle off the side, and kind of have that hand-hewn look. Yet I also want them to still have the natural characteristic of the tree placed in. So I want them to be hewn flat, but also rounded on the edges so that they more or less kind of halfway between the wood lintel on the outside of the house and this guy right here, I think would be perfect. This one's nice. We certainly have enough to do all of the doors and windows, but not all of them are this thick. This one is especially nice. I think naturally a lot of people are gonna be wondering, why is it that I'm chopping down so many trees when we just had a rock slide? Aren't the trees there to prevent rocks from coming down? And we even had quite a bit of people saying that I was the one that caused the rock slide by cutting down the trees. So let me explain why that's not actually the case. The first reason why that's not the case is that this mountainside here was never used as a forest. It never had trees until somewhat recently, maybe about 70, 80 years ago, by talking to the previous owners and the grandma and the oldest people who have memory of living here. This entire space behind me was used for cows. They kept all the trees cut down and only raised cattle up here. And it wasn't until they stopped raising cattle and kind of let the land take over that trees started to grow. It's actually the tree roots themselves that are, as they grow, break apart the mountain and cause the rocks to come down. You can see that because all of the rocks that were so loose and that were falling were being pushed out by the tree roots themselves. Furthermore, the trees are going to grow right back. Right here we have a tree that is completely dead. You can hear that it's dead. You can see that it's dead. All of the leaves are gone. Yet you have all of these fresh shoots growing out. And that's because the roots are so good. It's just the actual tree, the trunk and the branches and the leaves that has died off. But the root system is still good. It's the root system that holds in the soil and prevents the rock slides, or in this case, causes the rock slides. It does both. It's confusing. It wants to stay alive, so it shoots off brand new shoots, which these will turn into fresh trees. I can help the process along by cutting off some existing green shoots from another tree and cutting in a slice and grafting those in, and putting in 2 or 3 so that one at least has a chance of grafting, and then that'll just speed the process up.